Hey, so thank you for joining me today to talk about this thing that we all know we have, and sometimes we feel ashamed to admit that is procrastination. And what I want to offer today is uh, not so much, well, a new perspective on what I have discovered procrastination comes from. But what I hope that you walk away with is actually something very practical that you can apply right now that is going to end this constant loop of why am I procrastinating? Why I don't do that? And actually just gets you moving, but also from a place of alignment, and integrity of respecting your boundaries and your desires as well. So if you are new to this space or to me, I am Itzel, and my passion is reprogramming the subconscious mind because the subconscious mind is this system that actually monitors or informs about 95% of everything we do, we think, we feel. And it's all operated like operating in the background. And then the most astonishing thing is that about 60% of that program is garbage. It's self-limiting, it's self-damaging. And that is the part that I am more passionate about, teaching the skills to dismantle that so that we can actually come forth and do the things we want to do and create our lives more deliberately. So today we're going to focus on that in this beautiful thing that is procrastination. How does that sound? Yeah. So what kind of procrastination we're talking about here? So this is really not about pushing ourselves, like let's push through. I gotta do this, by force. Because I think there's two main categories of procrastination. And one category, I think, is the things that we really don't want to do. Right? It's like we might think is the right thing to do. We might think is what others expect us to do. But there's something internally that tells us, I really don't want to do this, right? So I am not interested in helping you push through those things, because then I think it's more of a way to listening to what do you really want to do and respect that. But it's true that there is another kind of procrastination that is actually kind of the block or what pulls us back from taking steps that we know are good for us, that we know we have to take, that taking those steps will bring us more closer to meet our goals or our dreams. But we do procrastinate because it's scary, right? So then I guess the first part I want to offer you is, how do we distinguish? What is an actual system, internal system to say, no, I don't want to go there, and what is not. And on this aspect, I want to share a kind of a framework from one of my mentors, that is the wonderful Martha Beck. And she says that to know, to access the truth of a scary step, to know if it's in alignment or not to your truth, is to, imagine as if you will have to jump off a cliff, right? But it's not the same feeling if you have to jump into a beautiful pool of crystal waters or you are jumping into a dump. So that has been such an important compass to me, to know, well, actually, this is scary, right? Because if we want to move forward towards a goal that is very likely stretching us out, fear is going to be present. So it's always a jump. But the question is, what's going to be the feeling after, right? Am I jumping into crystal water or into a dump? So if it's a dump, don't use the tool I'm going to teach you. Okay. But if it's crystal water, then we have some work to do. So, and this comes with this part that it's normal that we have fear. So I wanna offer you this perspective of, instead of telling yourself that I am such a procrastinator, I can't get things done, I'm always postponing, and that just turns into an identity and self-criticism that is just reinforcing another subconscious program that is telling you you are not good enough. So instead of that, I want to offer you the perspective that is actually just a reflection of a system inside of you, in your brain, that wants to keep you safe. Because it knows, it loves certainty, it loves to keep you where you are. So when you're about to make this big step and change your diet, right? Or send the email, make the proposal, whatever it is, the system in your brain that loves you and that wants to protect you, saying, no, we don't know what's going to happen there. Because the function of the brain is to predict what's going to happen so that it can help you, right? It's its survival mechanism, and it's how it helps you also create efficiency, right? So this is going to happen, so this is how you be prepared. But when you are putting yourself into a new scenario, the brain panics because, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot do my job, so no, let's not do it. Let's stay here, right? So then the job will be to teach your brain safety, right? Is how to teach ourselves to feel safe as we make these courageous moves that take us out from our comfort zone. How do we start teaching the brain certainty and familiarity so that then this new step or this new future doesn't become so much unknown, but actually more of a known? So in that aspect, I'm a big fan of mental rehearsal, because your brain makes no difference between a real event or imagine. So if you are, just watching like a scary movie, for your brain, it's as if you are living that moment. There's no difference. It doesn't recognize as it's something imaginary, but it creates the same chemicals and emotions as if it was already living it. So when we actually take time to see ourselves in that future and see ourselves taking those steps and doing it, the brain starts believing it has already happened. So it starts building familiarity. And then I think taking the time to rehearse this goal that we want to achieve, that we are procrastinating on, right? Taking the time to rehearse us already doing the workout, already losing the weight, already presenting in front of the people, already making the offers, not only helps to train your brain familiarity and to know that those scenarios actually are happening, but it will also teach your brain that it's actually possible because it has already happened in its mind. And this is what I have discovered recently, that most people procrastinate because in the end, they don't believe that what they want is possible. So why do I take the course? Why do I do the training? Because deep in the subconscious, they believe I'm not going to make it. But when you take the time to rehearse it as if it already happened, for your brain, you're going to start believing in that possibility. So I won't go too much into the actual rehearsal and the importance of living in the delusion of your future self, because it's not the topic for today. But I did create another video called Delusion is the Solution. And there I explain more about why it's important to be delusional about this future. But for now, I want to teach you, a small practice that is going to help you on one side to teach your brain to apply what I already taught you, to teach familiarity to your brain and put you in that situation where your next step is going to be inevitable. You ready? Yes. So this is actually, and first I invite you to test it in something small, small things. And then you go for the bigger things. But this is how I get myself to do my workout when I don't feel like, right? And right after I finish this recording, I have my boxing class. So what I do is I put myself, I'm in the situation, right? So it's too hot. I don't want to do really the workout. No, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, right? So in that moment, I just stop and I close my eyes and I think, how am I going to feel when it's already done, right? So I close my eyes and I say, okay, how is it going to feel when it's already done? And then I think, well, I feel when I'm out of my workout, like I feel, like taller. My back is straight and I have like so much energy. My body feels so good. My skin is refreshed. And then I activate that feeling in me. I open my eyes and I am at the door already with my backpack ready to go, because I didn't question it. I didn't stop to think, why am I doing this? But again, I just say stop and I say, okay, how's it going to feel when it's done? And by you taking the moment and the time to actually activate that future self, to activate the feeling, for your brain, you're already there because emotionally you are already there. And then your body follows. It's like, this is what we do. Oh, this is what we have to do. Okay, this is what we have to do. And the body just follows the action. And this happens every time. I have 100% success on this tool. Same thing, even, washing the dishes or doing your taxes, right? Like these little things that we hate doing, because not everything, is jumping into this pool of crystal water. Because there's things that we still need to get done, even though we don't like them and we are not crossing any boundary. It's just stuff that we got to do because we are adults, right? So same thing, if it's, doing the dishes or the taxes, like how it's going to feel, I did it. It's out of my way. Um, and I feel proud, that I did it. So how does it feel to feel proud? I'm feeling like washing dishes right now. So this is how you can apply this into your life. You just put yourself in the situation when, okay, this is the next step I want to do. And you put yourself in that situation and you start first thinking, okay, how is that going to feel? And then you start generating that feeling inside yourself and creating the emotion that it's already done. And then you're going to see how your body follows. And in that moment, you have a decision to make. And that is, let the emotion follow the body or question it. And if you question it, and if you're again in your head, we're back to zero, right? Because you always have that control. You can always teach your mind where to focus. So the invitation is to test it. And then as you feel the impulse, as you feel the body, just follow it and don't allow your mind to get in the way again. Okay. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for listening. And as with everything I teach, it only works if you do it.